Okay, so let's talk about some big changes that are going to come to social media, and I'm basing this all around predominantly looking at Neptune and its longer transits. It's usually about 14 to 16 years in each zodiac sign. But I also think it's really important to keep in mind when I'm discussing these changes, it's also impacted by Uranus that's moving into Gemini again. It did dip into it in 2025, and then Pluto that's in Aquarius. These are all impacting the internet, technology, social media, and changing all of these sorts of areas for us and how we are going to be using social media, how we're going to show up with technology and social media. I think it's very important that we think about these. Now, I do want to say there are so many amazing astrologers out there already talking about a lot of these different things, and in particular, a lot of this stuff that is actually inspired from Helena, I think it's Helen Woods. I'm really bad, but I definitely will try and give you guys her information, because a lot of this stuff she actually spoke about, and it inspired me to talk about this too, because I think it is really important for people to hear this message. Think about things with social media. As I said, we want to take in all of the other aspects like the Uranus and Pluto that we're having as well, but I am going to try and mostly focus on Neptune, because Neptune deals over like film, photography, videos, glamour, makeup, and all of that kind of stuff, which is very much entwined with social media. Now, if we think about Neptune when it was in Aquarius, for example, that is pretty much the time when YouTube was going really well, and there was lots of people that were like blogging and like sharing, a lot about their community and just their day-to-day lives, and blogging and just outfits and all that kind of stuff and that content, yeah? And when Neptune moved into Pisces, now there was pretty much Neptune in Aries coincided some new platforms like Instagram. Now, what we know about Instagram is that when it first came out as a social media app, it was very, very focused on images and photos. They were very aesthetic and romantic, I guess really fantasy based, really giving that illusion of a perfect life, and it was just like a snapshot. Obviously their social media app kind of grew and progressed a little bit from there, but essentially it is the photo app, it's Instagram. And a lot of people really love that. And what I will say is that when we're thinking about Pisces energy and Neptune energy and that kind of vibe, we also have to bring in Jupiter. And Jupiter is very much the planet that says yes to everything. It doesn't really have any boundaries. Neptune is all about like fantasies, illusions, spirituality, all of those sorts of things. So it is linked to Pisces, so Jupiter and Neptune both rule Pisces. So when Neptune was actually in Pisces, which is the modern ruler of Pisces, the traditional ruler is Jupiter, what we notice is that there was no boundaries with social media, especially things like Instagram. It was showing everybody's lives in every way. So people doing like the get readies with me, buy makeup here, or get ready with me, buy this outfit, like there's links to buy this, and they were like really pushing and selling. So it was really making people seem like celebrities and icons, and copy me and buy this and buy that. And there was no boundaries with content creation or people's lives and what we were sharing on social media. Very much boundaryless. And that's Pisces energy, and also Jupiter's, because Jupiter just says yes to everything, no boundaries, that kind of energy. Now that Neptune is moving into Aries, we're going to see a very different tone in energy. And I feel like people have already started to see that, especially in 2025 when Neptune dipped into Aries for that short period. I believe that was in March. It was either March or May in 2025. I think it was March. What we're seeing now is that the algorithm has changed with how it shares content on different social media platforms, especially like Instagram, but all of the platforms. They used to predominantly push, so if something went viral, it would push it, and then you would notice that your next video, even more views, and it would just kind of go, say, from like 50,000 to like 80,000 views, and like so on. And that's because obviously when content goes viral, it will get like pushed out to your audience, you'll get more followers, and as you get more followers, that will then have your previous videos like recommended to them, which then obviously brings up your views because it will keep recommending the videos and so on. Now the algorithm has kind of changed, and this has been like within the last year or less. And what seems to be happening is there's so many changes with the algorithm, but it seems to be that even if people are subscribed, they're not seeing a lot of people's content. And if you have that viral video or viral content, basically it's not giving you the same amount of views like with your next post, if that makes sense. So you're actually noticing a drop off. Whereas previously, after, as I said, the algorithm, sees something of yours that goes viral, some kind of content, it would then recommend your content to your new subscribers and followers and keep pushing it out there, and you'll get more and more views. Well, now that's kind of stopped. And so what's happening now is that you are going to have to keep creating content that pops off and that keeps people coming back, that keeps them engaged and actually helps people and has people listening and reading, learning and engaging with that content and making it go viral, because that's the only way that people are going to keep seeing your content. So it needs to stay like relevant, and needs to give people something that keeps them coming back. It needs to be interesting. It needs to keep them on the hook, if that makes sense. Like, it needs to teach them something. It needs to give them something. And so I think that's really going to change the way a lot of people show up on social media. We're going to have new platforms. The internet's going to change. I think with Neptune being in Aries, we're going to see more boundaries being set, because Aries and Mars really like boundaries, whereas Pisces was boundaryless. This is all going to be about boundaries. So people are going to have boundaries with when they're creating content, how they're using social media, who they're sharing it with, who's seeing it, how much they're creating, how much they're sharing, if that all makes sense. So I feel like there is going to be a push on social media for content just to be very high quality. Now, I think that people are going to be creating less content, but sharing more meaningful, more helpful content, and content that aligns with that Aries energy. So people that are going to be authentic, they're going to be real, they're going to be raw, and they're going to be brave. I feel like the content that's going to probably be more popular from the trends that we're kind of noticing at the moment. If you notice the lifestyle vlogs, like the Get Ready With Me, or just, sharing just vlogs of your daily life, like, unfortunately, those things don't seem to be getting very much views and interaction at the moment. But what is starting to get popular and getting a lot of views and getting pushed for the algorithm is people sitting down and being raw and honest, like sitting down like this, talking to you, teaching you, or having conversations, like political conversations, or sharing life stories to help heal people or teach people. It's going to be real authentic stories, real raw people sitting down, being open, honest and authentic. That's the content that people are going to want to see, and that's what's going to get pushed. We've also got AI coming into this as well, so a lot of people are going to want to see real people, real honest conversations and content. And with that, we also have to make it, engaging, and we're going to have to, give it in a way that is going to keep people coming back for more and going to keep them through the whole video, which is where the challenge is going to be, because you're going to have to create that really high quality content, not just the, quick aesthetic pleasing, day in the life, or, Get Ready With Me kind of vlogs, videos and those sorts of things. It's going to have to be videos that are real, honest, engaging, and really thought out and educational and helpful in some way, because that's that Aries energy, and that's where Neptune's going to be for the next 14 years. And I think when Neptune moves into, say, Taurus, or like in about 2030, it's going to be like AI clones, AI twins. There's going to be so many people through social media that are going to be using AI to create their content and put it out there, but there's still going to be real authentic people like us out